Okay, good morning everybody. So, today's class is kind of crazy. We're going to try and talk about literary theory, and we're going to look at different ideas of literary theory. Does everyone have this sheet? Okay, great, good. You're going to need this today, and today everybody needs notes. Even me. I must admit, a lot of these theories are very, very complicated, and so I need my notes in order to help me to understand them. So you will need them as well, but you'll also need each other. So you're going to work in groups today and just try to understand, try to make sense of these complicated ideas, and then you're going to teach each other about one of these ideas. And that way, maybe hopefully by the end of the class, we will all know everything about literary theory. Okay, so we've got to work very hard. I'm just going to take the attendance quickly, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do. Okay, fantastic. So, last lesson. Last lesson I asked you. I gave you. I didn't ask you. I told you. I made you research something. So what was your topic that you were researching? Some people were researching new criticism. Who got new criticism? Hey. Who got archetypal myth criticism? Aha, okay. Who got psychoanalytic criticism? Okay. Who got Marxism? 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 Is it just you? Huh? But there should have been somebody else. That's very unlucky for you. Oh no. So, yeah. What should we do? Let me think about Marxism. Do you know if your friends are coming today? They've left you in the lurch, haven't they? You're stuck. Okay, we'll come back to Marxism. Existentialism. Oh, how do you feel today? Depressed? Yeah, too much reading about existentialism. Okay, did anyone get avant-garde, surrealism, or Dadaism? We don't have any. Okay, we don't have that. What about structuralism? Oh, and you got it. Oh, just you, right? On your own. You and Marxism might make friends this time, I think. We'll talk about you guys. So you're structuralism. Who got postmodernism? Okay. And who got feminism? And who got my favourite, reader response theory, reaction theory? Okay, fantastic. So it's important that you get together with your group and say to them, what did you research? What do you know about this crazy topic? Help me understand. Okay, so work in groups and share your research with your groups. Help each other to understand as much as you can. Okay, I think it's going to take about 10 minutes. Okay, so 10 minutes. Okay, you guys, what should we do? Yeah, it's really difficult to do this just on your own, I think. It's best to work in a team. Do you know each other?
We know.
You know each other? Yeah, okay. So it might be better if you work as a team, but it's going to be a little difficult because you'll have to kind of do the research now. So decide which you want to do, structuralism or Marxism. Which one? You do structuralism. Okay, great. So Can you easily explain structuralism to your partner? And do you have this paper? This is the handout from the Moodle. Do you have this one? Ah, okay. I have a spare copy. But do you have these ones? Okay, that's great. Was it a job interview you had on Monday? Oh, that was a baseball game. Yeah. Did you win? Ah.
We analyze some author or some particular character in the story.
Okay, so if you explain to him as easily as possible what structuralism is, do you think that you guys can do structuralism? You'll just need to kind of catch up quickly, and then you should be okay. You forgot your handout. You have to kill him, and then you can have it. I only have one spare, and let me see. You're very lucky. You don't have to kill him. You can have this one. Are you wearing a... Oh, not. I thought you were wearing a Joy Division t-shirt, but it's not Joy Division. It says something else. Okay, so what was your topic? Of course. Yeah, I'm actually kind of studying existentialism at the moment. So what did you understand about existentialism? You can't come in. Come in. Who's your group? What was? Did I give you a topic last week on Monday? Existentialism or post-structuralism?
I was absent.
Oh, you were absent. Okay, you can join these guys. Yeah, these guys will tell you what's going on. You've got a new member of your group. Structuralism, yeah. Good luck. Okay, so what do you know about existentialism?
Existentialism the priority of individual existence, universal, necessary existence.
Oh, that's good. Yes. So they focus on the individual. Right.
And the exponents of existentialism is Camus and Austin and Nietzsche and Kafka or so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. What do you know about Albert Camus? Because he's one of the most famous existentialists. What do you know about him? Yeah.
I searched about Sartre.
Right. So is that Jean-Paul Sartre?
Yes.
Yeah. So what did you learn about Sartre?
Sartre is like the philosopher of existentialism, and the Mom makes himself is the presence, how the existentialism is.
Do you think the existentialists believe in fate or destiny?
Fate.
Do they believe in fate, or do they think there is no fate?
No fate.
That's right. Yeah. So we're free to make our own choices. But is that a good thing or a bad thing? They got very depressed about existentialism. Existentialism is considered a lot of people consider it to be kind of depressing. So I hope you didn't get too depressed researching about it.
Our writing skills class last year we wrote about Donald Barthelme.
Oh, right.
Wrote like a shower of gold, and the main character was is a kind of like existence.
Who was your teacher? Was that O'Leary Sensei?
Yes.
Right. Okay. I thought, it must be O'Leary Sensei would do something really high level like that.
A lot of absurd things that happens to the main character.
Right.
And he is influenced by such things and come to.
You know, I think you guys know much more about existentialism than I do. That's fantastic. Well done. Okay, great. So you guys are okay, basically. I don't need to answer any questions for you, do I? Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions for me?
I searched the existentialism is involved to attempt to make meaning in a chaotic world. Is this real? Is this?
Yeah, I think they were. It was a search for meaning. Yeah, and the world makes no sense. So how can we make sense of it? Basically, Yeah, I think that's a good explanation. I think you guys are fine. I think you have enough to explain, and it's easy to understand what you've said. So that's great. Okay. How about you guys? You were reader response theory, right? So, what did you learn about reader response theory? Yours is an important one because we will study it in more detail when we look at Sylvia Plath. So, what do you know, Yui? Okay, yeah, you want to discuss with them first? Okay. Summarize. Okay, yeah. Okay.
The text is more important than the reader. The response is more important than the text itself or the person who wrote the story. The response depends on the person who reads the text.
That's right. Yes, that's right. It's everyone has their own different reading, their own different understanding of any work. So when you read Harry Potter, you probably imagine somebody who is young boy, handsome, with a scar on his head. But maybe when you read Harry Potter, you imagine him to be, blonde or something, or you imagine him to be tall, but you don't like tall, so you imagine him middle height. So that's just a kind of simple example, but everyone has very different, and then it goes a lot deeper than that as well, like your own experiences. So maybe you went to school in Scotland, so it's easy for you to imagine Hogwarts, but you went to school in Tokyo, so it's kind of difficult for you to imagine that kind of place. Do you have any questions about reader response theory? All right. Which one? All of them? Or just transactional analysis? A concept developed by Rosenblatt asserting that meaning is produced in the transaction of a reader with a text. As an approach, then, the critic would consider how the reader interprets the text as well as how the text produces a response in her. Oh, okay. That's actually basically this person is saying that what's a transaction? What does it mean? So basically, I want to buy your phone. I give you some money and you give me your phone. You give me something, I give you something. So she's basically saying that that's the same thing that happens when you read. It gives you something, but you give it something as well. And what you give it is your interpretation, and what it gives you is the material that makes you create the interpretation. So it gives you the ideas, and then you crunch it back out as an interpretation, basically. The kind of transaction. That's a very important concept. Where did you get this? This is a good. Was this from the links? Ah, okay, right. Yeah, my own links that I sent you. Yes. No problem. No. Remember, it's my job to answer your questions. How about you guys? What did you get? You got new criticism. Is it exciting, new criticism? Is it new? When did new criticism come about?
1940 to 1950.
So is it new?
Little old.
Yeah, it's kind of old new criticism. It's not the newest type of criticism. So what was new about it? Why was it? What was their basic idea?
New criticism consider about work itself. Think about the author or writer.
Right.
Write the words.
That's right. So if you read Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities, then do you have to care about who Charles Dickens was? Is who he was important? No, the fact that he went to France is not important. The fact that he had experiences in France, that's nothing. What about the fact that he wrote it around the time of the French Revolution, just shortly after? Is that important? No. What's important? Only the book, only the words. So you can learn everything you need to know about that book without learning anything else, just reading the text. Do you agree with that?
I prefer searching about the authors thinking relationship with authors.
Yeah. Personally, I think that new criticism was interesting, but it makes it more difficult to understand a book if you're not allowed to Google the author. Okay, yeah, you guys have got a good understanding. How about you guys? Archetypal myth criticism. There's not much room here. Sorry. What did you learn about archetypal myth criticism? It's one of my favourite types of criticism. That's why I gave it to you, Miho. Yeah. What did you learn about it? I feel really uncomfortable squeezed in here. No, sit down here again. What did you learn about archetypal myth criticism?
Archetypes determines the form and functions of literature. The meaning of the text is shaped by cultural and psychological myths.
Yeah, no, excellent. One of the important points of archetypal myth criticism is that every story can be kind of categorized according to these archetypes. So, like for example, Harry Potter, it can be categorized according to archetypal myth criticism, and it's a basic kind of hero fights the bad guy story, and Lord of the Rings is kind of, it can fit in the same category as Harry Potter, even though they're different. If you search and make the story simple enough, it can be categorized according to mythological archetypes. Do you like myths? And no?
I don't know much.
You don't know much. Yeah, I think a lot of archetypal myth criticism focuses on Greek myths as well, so they're difficult to. If you don't know much about them, it can be hard to find the type of story that it's suggesting. Do you have any questions about archetypal myth criticism? Yeah, so they try to link everything to myths, and really one of their beliefs is that myths are part of our human subconscious. You know, like when you're born already able to learn a language. So you don't know the language, but you're ready to learn the language because you're a human. So my son was born and now he's learning language. But my dog is older than my son, and my dog is rubbish at language because it's a dog, you know, whereas humans are ready. And these guys, archetypal myth critics, say that myths are part of our subconscious as well. So we're born almost knowing these stories, and so when we learn a new story, it fits into our mind as one of these subconscious myth stories. Pretty cool idea, huh? Do you agree with that? You do? Okay, good. Archetypal myth criticism is especially important for Tolkien because he wrote myths, basically. Yeah. Do you like Tolkien? No? Oh, okay. Well, never mind. How about you guys? You've got postmodernism. This is the one that I understand least well. So please teach me what is postmodernism.
Appeared after World War II, and it's kind of against modernism or against young people, against their families or such kind of ageist people, and do something new or do something strange.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So in order to understand postmodernism, you have to kind of know what modernism is. So I think that the way you explained it was very nice, very simple. It gets very complicated though. So I think the key is to keep it simple. The way you explained it was very, very good. So do you have any questions for me about postmodernism? How about you, Rika? You're very quiet.
Could I get the definition? So we couldn't find the clear definition.
Now, this is quite a useful book, and this talks a little bit about modernism as well. Basically, what did I write? On my sheet, I've written like a summary. And my summary of modernism of postmodernism is that it's basically a reaction against modernism. It's a reaction against the idea that everything has to have meaning or everything has to have purpose. Modernists thought everything has a purpose. Everything needs to make sense. Whereas the postmodernists are like, why? Nothing makes sense. It doesn't need to make sense. They're quite closely connected with structuralism and post-structuralism. But modernism and postmodernism are a bit bigger. So that's why it's complicated. Let's see, where's modernism? This is a good book. Oh, it doesn't tell you about modernism in this book. Anyway, basically, yeah, things don't need to make sense, is what they were saying. Yeah. And what was your guys' topic?
Psychoanalytic criticism.
Ah, yes, okay.
It's really complicated.
Yes, but basically it is what?
We analyze some author's heart or author's mind or some particular character's heart or mind, and he researched about this kind of. So when we use psychoanalyzation, so there are three
the
types.
id, yeah, the ego.
Ego and superego.
Yeah,
Ego
that's
is
Freud's ideas, isn't it? Yeah,
associated a lot.
yeah.
And ego is unconscious desire, and especially sexual. So we can suppress.
Yeah,
And so actually we want to do that kind of things.
yeah,
But so in socially it is not admitted to do things kind of things, so we must suppress ego.
yeah.
And between these, so there is ego suppression kind of. I want to do it, but it's prohibited. So like how can I say, these trouble.
Yeah,
Like so, and to use this psychoanalytic psychoanalyzation to criticize, it is psychoanalytic criticism.
yeah, that's right. It's basically taking the ideas of psychoanalysts and using it to analyze writers and their characters. Yeah, and what you said about the id and stuff, that's great. That's good detail. Okay, so you guys are okay. How about you guys? Do you have any questions for me about feminism?
How much do we have to know?
Enough to explain it simply, but not confuse anyone. The more you know, sometimes the more confusing it gets. So you need to stop before it gets confusing. You need a simple explanation.
I got the most simple explanation, but that enough?
The belief and aim that women should have the same rights and opportunities as men. Women and men should consider what it means to be a woman and consider much of what's... Yes, because there are feminists, radical feminists, who think that women are better than men.
This is funny.
This is correct mostly, but there are some feminists who actually disagree with that, like Valerie Solanas. Have you heard of her? Have you heard of Andy Warhol, the artist? Andy Warhol. He's got an exhibit on at the... Oh no, he had an exhibit on, and he drew the Marilyn Monroe and the can of soup. She shot him. She shot him in the stomach, I think, or in the chest, or the leg. She shot him because she was a radical feminist and hated men. So she disagrees with that, but she's radical. Most feminists look for equality, but I think mainly feminism is about gender, understanding equality and the differences and the similarities. So yes, that's good. Simple is beautiful.
So is this enough?
Yeah. As long as you think that, just be careful of saying that all feminists think that, because there are some who don't. But yeah, that's good. That's simple. That's perfect.
Can I make it clear? So this is like a basic idea, but some people, for example, radical feminists, they think that women are better than men.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So that's why I think this explanation is quite.
Radical.
No. This is about how understanding what it means to be a woman and understanding gender. I think that's a good one as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Your explanation is good, but perhaps too simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna use this one.
Yeah, that one's a good. But your explanation is still good. I think if you just mention that there are some crazy people out there, your explanation is perfect as well. Do you have any questions about feminism?
No.
Are we going to present?
No, you're going to work in small groups. Yeah, I'll tell you about that in a moment. Last group, are you guys okay about structuralism? Do you have many questions?
we can understand structure, but we can't understand semiology.
Don't worry about semiology. I hate semiology. Just worry about structuralism. Like I was saying to them, we need to keep it really simple so you can explain to other groups. So basically, what is structuralism?
Everything is happened by society or something.
Yes. Good. That is a nice explanation. What's on my notes? Basically... Oh, basically, the structuralists want to understand things by looking at the context, by looking at the structures that make our life. And structuralism believes that there is a truth. You can find the correct answer. That there's like, if you search the context, if you search the structures, you can find the truth, the answer to, and there's one definite answer, one definite black or white truth. Okay, so that's kind of what they're about. You okay? Okay. Do you have any questions? Okay, are you sure? Okay, I'll be around. I don't know well about structuralism, to be honest, so that's why forget about semiology. Try and keep it as simple as possible. With all these theories, the more you learn about it, the more confusing it gets. Okay. Okay, I've been around the whole room. It took more than half an hour, but I've talked to everybody, and I think that everybody knows enough to explain their topic. Some people's face is a bit like this, which means, but don't worry, my face is like that too. I don't have a great understanding of all of these theories, I'll be honest. But you don't need to understand it incredibly deeply. To understand enough is the main point of today's class. Just understand the basics. Simple is beautiful. The more you learn about these theories, the more confusing and complex they become. But we're not doing that today. We just want the simple, most basic explanation. So what your job is to do is to explain in as simple as possible language to your classmates about your theory. And this is how it's going to work. In your groups, decide who is A and who is B. If you've got 3 people, you have 2 A's and 1 B, or 2 B's and 1 A, I don't mind. But decide in your group who is A and who is B. Okay, who's A? Who's A? Hey, who's B? Okay, who's nothing? Okay, good. Right. A people, you are lucky. You can relax. You get to sit down and stay where you are. B people, you are lucky. You get to stand up and move around and talk to different people. Okay, B, you are the traveling people. You will go and say, okay, bye-bye, my group. Hello, new group. Hi, can I tell you about my theory? Yes, please. Oh, write down the notes. A, you make notes. B, you teach. B, you're the teachers. A, you're the scribes. You just write things down. You don't need to explain your theory. You just listen and ask questions and write down notes. Okay? Any questions? Okay, now it's a really confusing classroom, so we have to move in order. So move backwards all the time. Move backwards until you get to the back, and then move to the front like this. So back, 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 and then front, front, front. And then eventually you'll all have spoken to each other. Each turn you've got 2.5 minutes to explain your theory and then finish and then move on. Okay, 2.5 minutes each time. Go, go, go. I'll be timing you with this.
What it means to be a woman and one human beings have much trade and we all have some kind of desire. No matter what form we make. So this is a simple idea. So actually we want to do this desire, but we must suppress this because it's socially prohibited to do. What it means to be a women and how much or what society what women create.
Okay, you've got 1 more minute to finish your explanation. Don't forget to try to use English when you're explaining if possible. Obviously. A little Japanese is fine, but not all. Okay, 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, please move around now. Move around. You can change. Time's up. Okay. Yeah, you can start. Yeah, as soon as you sit down, get started. Remember, you can ask questions as well. Make sure you have a good understanding. Oh, are you stranded? Oh no! Just go wherever there's nobody who. This always happens. This always happens. Oh. Hey, you get a break. You take a seat. Just relax. Looks like you don't have to do anything for 3 minutes.
when we use the theory, we use like this method of stipulation. There are three types of desire. Three types of eat, control, and desire. Eat is unconscious desire to nature. So in the case of kind of this desire, we can suppress it no matter what happens. So we want to do it. We want to do action. In socially, it is prohibited. So this one is survival. We must suppress either kind of these desire. So socially, so either is personal desire, but survival is a social one. So either we want to do kind of we want to do it, but we must stop it because in front of people we must do it. So I want to, but we must do it. So there are kind of control here. So this one is able control. So when using this kind of theory, we analyze someone's mind. This one is second person.
Okay, 30 seconds left. Try to finish off. Oh, it's one of those spooky moments where the whole class goes quiet altogether, even though nobody said anything. Okay, that's time. So that's 5 seconds left, and then move round. Move round. We have to go very quick. As you move around, your explanation will get easier and easier. But try to explain in English if you can as much as possible. A little Japanese is fine to get the main meaning across. Okay.
We must suppress it because it's socially prohibited to do such a bad thing. We must suppress this one. So we want to do it, but we must suppress it. We must forget it. So it's really see, when we use these kind of methods, we analyze like this one is second proposed by
Okay, 30 seconds left.
If you want to know more detail, please ask
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now move around, please. Wow. I'm amazed at the efficiency of this group. Usually, when I say move around, everyone's like, no, I'm still explaining. But you guys, finished ages ago. That's fantastic. You must be very good at summaries. Whoa.
I will always debate three.
I want to do it here, but I must suppress it. So want to, but must suppress it. So between this, there is kind of here. We want to, we must suppress. So what should we do? So these this one is ego, this one is custom here. So yeah. So it's very complicated though. So when we do psychological criticism, so we use this method.
People
I don't know about it. Because my partner explained it.
Okay, 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and now please move around. One more exchange. People like your explanation. I've heard a lot of people say your explanation is easy to understand. That's because you're a Juku teacher.
Yeah, Juku teacher.
Yeah. You can tell he's a good Juku teacher, can't you? Okay. Do you have anyone to talk?
Using the psychoanalyzation method to analyze them. For example, Ido and Ego.
Do you have somebody to talk to? Nobody talk to you? These. Okay. Okay. How does that happen? Where are the three lost people? Oh, they're one group, okay.
I want to do something, we must prohibit it because it's socially not allowed. So between even the
Which is the one that you have difficulty understanding, Emmy?
Existentialism.
Basically, I think individual. There's no fate, no destiny. We're all free. That's their basic idea. No fate. No fate, no destiny. Do you believe in destiny? You're not an existentialist then. It means everyone. Yeah, existentialism was important in literature, but not just literature, but all philosophy as well. So when they talk about the individual, they talk about every individual in the world, every individual human. 20 seconds left, so that's everyone. And that applies also to characters in books. So Harry Potter is just an individual. He's free to do whatever he wants, and he's not guided by destiny. Okay, time to change. Time to change round. Oh, that's a good idea. Then you can stay sitting.
Hello. I'm going to talk about feminism.
He's an honorary feminist today. Even though he's a man, he can be a feminist. Maybe you get a break.
And feminism is a theory about you should consider what it means to be a woman.
Is there nobody to talk to? You already talked to these guys. Yeah. You had his fantastic explanation already. So you know what? Take a break. Take a break, man. You've been working very hard. You guys also take a break. You can, you've got 3 minutes to relax. Well, actually, 1 minute 55 to relax.
There are many preoccupations for women. Like, for example, the women should not do this, this women should not do this. Break this preoccupation is the theory.
Okay, 1 minute left. 1 more minute. How many people have you heard from so far? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So you've got 6 altogether. 6 done. So how many groups were there? I think another 3 rotations. Okay, 20 seconds left. Are you learning a lot about literary theory? Good. Is it interesting? It's difficult, but I think you can use it to level up your essays, you know. A little bit of literary theory gives you goes a long way, I think. Okay, that's time. Okay. Change round now. Are you hungry? Me too, I'm so hungry. You can't eat literary theory, unfortunately. It's not edible. Okay, yeah, move around. Move around.
But this is hard.
Post structure.
Yeah, that's a hard one. You haven't finished. Oh, you have? Oh, okay. Yeah, right. She's very popular. People like to sit and talk to her. Okay. Yeah. Try. There's a few people still milling around. Do you not have anyone to talk to? Who hasn't moved yet? Who hasn't moved? Who's got nobody to talk to? That's strange. Why are 3 people no group? Did you talk to him already? Oh, you have 2. She's part of your group, so you split in 2 to go explaining. Now I understand why. Okay. Oh, that makes my system a bit different, but that's okay. That's very efficient. Okay, so you guys just take a break then. That's why there was extra groups. Now I see what happened. You could just take a seat, relax. You've got 1 minute and 26 to relax.
So we can suppress it, but we must suppress it as an ego. This one is unconscious desire, because it's socially predicated to do this kind of desire in front of people. So if I mean ego, I want to do it. I want to do this kind of desire, but we must suppress it because we are not allowed to do it. So between it and survival, so there is the ego here. This will come go. So I want to, but it is not allowed to do it. So like what should I do? So with using this method, we analyze literature. This one is psychoanalysis. We analyze author's mind.
Okay, 30 seconds left.
Yeah, with using these things, we analyze author's thoughts. Not like a story, but author's heart, character's heart. So what does he think in this situation? Or in the story, there are some sentences like happy. In this situation, it seems not happy.
2, 1. Okay, time's up. Move around. Move around. Are you good at suppressing your id, do you think?
I don't think so.
You're ruled by your subconscious. There's a really interesting explanation, isn't it? Sorry?
I can tell about existentialism for my friends.
Just instead of explaining about existentialism, just stare at them like this until they get scared, and that's a good enough explanation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, remember, just the individual, no destiny. How many groups have you guys spoken to now?
6.
Okay. Oh, you've had the existentialists. So hang on, you've heard about new criticism, archetypal myth criticism, psychoanalytical criticism, and existentialism, and structuralism, and post-structuralism, and postmodernism, and feminism, and reader response theory.
We didn't have post-structuralism.
Post-structure. So there's a post-structuralist who needs to talk to you, and then you'll be finished. Okay. You've learned a lot in today's lesson. Did you realize that you would learn so much? But it's the kind of learning where actually you get more confused the more you learn. Welcome to literary theory. You just take a break. You know, if you've got no one to talk to, go back to your group and talk to them. I'm sure they'd be happy to see you and hear about your experiences. Which one? Psychoanalytic criticism. That's him. He doesn't like you. Everyone else in the class likes you. You seem very popular, but he avoiding you. Wonder why.
Individual existence. That's important point.
Very philosophical.
Okay, 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. Okay, I think there's one more change, right? There's one more, and then we're finished. So this is the last one now. So change round and last person. Make sure you've got everyone now. This should be the last one. Have you finished, everyone? Okay, nearly finished. One more and then it's finished. Wataru is here waiting to learn from you.
Research a little different. Structuralism. Word.
It's Moemi, right? Isn't it? Moemi. Yeah. Okay. One minute left.
We want to do some of these kind of desire, but we must suppress this one. This one is survival. Survival means we must suppress. We must suppress. Yeah, control. Because it's socially prohibited to do these things desire from people. So we must I want to do, but
Okay.
I want to do, but I can't do. Between them, there are kind of really
Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, time's up. Great. So please finish off and return to your original seat. What's that explanation? What's this? I really want to know what you're explaining. That's great. Okay, so go back to your original seats. Okay, and it's very important now that you do exactly as I tell you. Take a deep breath. Yes, it's a very, very mentally, cognitively demanding lesson, today's lesson. Everyone has one very difficult topic, but now you've all got many very difficult topics. And A people, you had a nice job because you just had to listen and write down notes. But now you have the most difficult job. You have to explain all the theories to B, who just knows one. Good luck. Explain super simple. Simple is beautiful. Tell your partner what you've learned.
Not author or not historical background, and it comes out
Is this Drive My Car?
That's right, Wataru. Well, do you like the Beatles?
Yes.
Good man. When somebody asks you, do you like the Beatles? The correct answer is yes. If you say no, that's incorrect.
Look at author or history about the book. Look at only.
How are you guys doing? How are your explanations?
Oh, so bad.
So bad. But you went for simple, right? You went for the simplest explanation. Oh, that's good. I think the key is for this. My main aim for this class is to expose people to the theory, so they've heard of it and they have some idea what it might be. But you don't need to, be an expert in 90 minutes.
Oh, I have several questions.
I'm sorry, I don't answer students' questions.
Please, just wait.
Okay.
Here, structuralism.
Oh no, yes?
Yes, he said everything determined by the other elements.
Oh, okay. That's quite a good explanation.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm okay, but in literature, what does that mean? Could you give me an example? Because that's kind of I don't know.
What is the element?
So, structuralism focuses on the fact that everything. In order to understand something, you have to look at everything. So,
Background or history?
yeah, and we are all part of the structures and one of the things that the main difference between post-structuralism and structuralism is that the structuralists are looking for truth. They're looking for one answer. So they read Sylvia Plath and they say Sylvia Plath has one truth, one meaning. The answer to what she's trying to say is in there if we look at all the structures and all the context. But the post-structuralists say, no way, man. there's no one truth. It's not black or white. It's all grey.
Okay.
So the structuralists are like black and white, and these guys are like, no, grey, man.
But now, structuralism sounds like opposite to the new criticism.
Yes, new criticism.
Just focus on
They're all connected. These ideas. They're all schools, and they kind of basically like somebody didn't like their teacher, so they create a new theory that's against what their teacher said, and then their teacher's favorite student likes what they said, so they create something against what the against student said. So it gets like that, yeah. But yeah, you're right to make the connection between new criticism and structuralism.
Okay, thank you. That was very helpful.
But how it works in literature depends on the story, really. So these people, this is their belief about how to analyze literature. So when they analyze a story, they'll be thinking of it in this way. For me, I'm more like a reader response person, and I'm more interested in. I kind of agree with a lot of the theories, but I'm most interested in the differences between people's interpretations.
Thank you.
No problem.
So I have to continue now.
Oh, sorry, I stopped you. Yeah,
I did.
You can continue the task over lunch while you're eating. How are you guys doing? Have you who's A? Have you finished your explanation?
No, not yet. Only 3 of them.
Only 3? Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty fast. Yeah. It's difficult to explain them all. And how do you feel, Rika? Do you feel lost, confused, unhappy? Or are you enjoying literary theory?
It's difficult, but it's very good.
Oh, of course. Which is your favourite theory so far? Yeah, Yumiko, which is your favourite theory?
Structuralism.
You like structuralism? Oh, okay. Why do you like structuralism?
It's easy to understand.
Whoa, wait a minute. I said, why do you like structuralism? And you said, it's easy to understand. She's a genius. No, you should be the teacher. I can't understand structuralism. Right. No, I still think that's impressive. You're a genius. Yeah. Which did you like so far? I knew you'd be. I thought that would be for you. Yeah, yeah. And his explanation was very good about the id and stuff, wasn't it?
That's right.
3 more minutes. 3 more minutes.
So what is most important is individual.
You guys are kind of. You had a really hard time today because none of you were here last lesson, were you? So your friend told you about structuralism, but I advised against giving you structuralism because it's really difficult. But she said, "Oh, he's clever. He can do it." And then the rest of you just had to learn a theory and then explain it in one go. So you've done really good work today. Well done. How do you feel? Are you tired? Yeah, it is. I think you've done really well, all of you. So, what is your favourite theory so far that you've learned about? Which one is interesting in your opinion?
Accidental.
I'm interested in myth criticism.
Yes, me too, actually. Why are you interested in archetypal myth criticism?
I heard Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings are based on myth.
Well, they can be anything can be analysed according to that theory. But Lord of the Rings especially is quite connected to that idea because Tolkien was kind of writing his own mythology. So you're interested in myths? And you like Tolkien? You like Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Yes! Usually Lord of the Rings is the most popular topic, but in this class it's not as popular as usual, so I'm so happy to find someone, because I love Lord of the Rings. Have you seen the movies?
Yes, 3 of them.
A man who's done his homework. Have you seen the movies?
No.
A man who hasn't done his homework. Okay, try to finish off now, and if you haven't finished, then you'll just have to buy a coffee and finish in a cafe or over lunch or something, because I've got some announcements. Oh, I hate to end on that song, Nothing Man. That's Nowhere Man. That's a really good song. Okay. Okay, right. Please stop talking about literary theory now. Put your hands up if you found it interesting to learn about some of the theories. Put your hands up if you found it interesting to learn some of them. Okay. Put your hands up if you thought all of them are too difficult and boring. Oh, nobody. Okay, yes. That's good. You're only not raising your hand because you're on camera. Anyway, basically, this is just an introduction, and we're not really going to ever do something this crazy again, where we try to squeeze all these theories into one lesson. If you are interested in one of the theories, you should research it more deeply yourself and try to get a better understanding yourself. But really, my aim for this class was just to give everyone an experience of hearing about a theory and to hear the name and to understand very basically what it's about. If you are interested in learning more about literary theory, this is a really good book. It's very, very small and very, very thin and very, very easy to... Well, it's not very easy to understand, actually. It's supposed to be easy to understand. It's a good summary, and it's called Literary Theory, a very short introduction. And actually, all these Oxford introductions, Oxford very short introductions are really good. They have introductions to everything, including English literature and literary theory and crazy things as well. So have a look at these. I think we've got one of them in a few of them in the library. But the main thing that you need to do is start thinking about this book. Now, the introduction to this book is available to you, and I think most of you have already got your copies. So, how many people have started reading the Introduction to Literary Theory? Introduction. What is literature? Who started reading? Raise your hand. Okay. I thought there was more than that. Okay, so by Monday's class, are you okay? You're like hiding. Here. Oh, I see. That's what you look like you were trying to get as far away from me as possible. By Monday's class, please try to read all of this chapter. Okay? It's a bit long. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's finished. Okay. It's quite long. It's 14 pages. Yeah. But it's very interesting. I think. You might not think so. When you're reading it, I've got some advice about how to understand it. He's going to give you a kind of a timeline. He's going to give you an overview of literature, definitions of literature. This chapter is just trying to find out what is the definition of literature. and he's going to tell you different definitions that were proposed at different times by different people in different countries who have different theories of literature. Okay, so it's very complicated. So make a map as you read it. That's my advice. When you're reading it, try to make a map of the different definitions. Who thought what, when, and just make like a timeline. So he'll mention the Russian formalists. So put them on your map and try to write the time that they were around and a basic idea of what they were thinking. Yeah, that's going to take you a long time. Have a good weekend. But if you try to finish it by Monday if possible. At the very least, try to read up to. No, try and read it all. Try and read the whole chapter and make your map. Okay. Good luck. Okay. Next week's class, what we're going to do is talk about what is literature, and we're also going to talk about what we talk about when we talk about literature. Where does that title come from? That title is a reference to a famous writer. What we talk about when we talk about literature. Who does that remind you of? Which writer does that remind you of? Ask your partner. Do you know? Who did you say? Who said Raymond? Oh, almost Raymond Carver. Raymond Carver. Yeah, I thought you said Raymond Carver. Yeah. That's what we talk about when we talk about love, is Raymond Carver's short story. And I stole his title to make my fantastic lesson, what we talk about when we talk about literature. So we're going to talk about what literature is and what it means to study literature. And we're going to talk about why study literature and what can it teach us. Is it useful? Will it help us get a job? Answer, maybe. So that's what next week's lesson's all about. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about reader reception, reader response theory on Thursday. And then next week, after Golden Week, we will start Sylvia Plath. So last week I showed you a trailer for the Sylvia Plath movie, which is called, what's the name of that movie? Yeah. So try to watch that movie if you can. You don't have to watch that movie, but that's a really good way to learn about Sylvia Plath's life and her relationship with Ted Hughes, because we're going to analyse Sylvia Plath and Ted Hughes together and the influence they had on each other's writing. So one more week of crazy theory, and then we get started on the literature itself, and we'll be studying Sylvia Plath. So please look at the syllabus and try and keep up with the reading as you go. Okay. Any questions? Atsuho, do you have any questions at all? No? You know that if you don't ask any questions, I'll say goodbye, and then you can go straight to the front of the queue because you'll be a few minutes early. So that's what I'll do. Thank you very much for your really hard work today. You've all done great, and have a nice weekend, and see you on Monday. Thanks.